Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. The MT Princess Empress has been spotted by the Remotely Operated Vehicle, or ROV, from Japan. Oriental Mindoro Governor Humerlito Dolor shared a photo of the sunken vessel on his social media account. This is the first time since its sinking that the MT Princess Empress was sighted, and through an ROV, which only arrived yesterday. The ROV was contracted by RDC Rail Marine Services, the owner of the ship that caused the massive oil spill in Oriental Mindoro. Meantime, the Maritime Industry Authority, or MARINA, has suspended the operations of RDC Rail Marine Services. According to its ongoing investigation, MARINA found that the amended CPC, or Certificate of Public Convenience, presented for the sunken vessel was fake. The NCR Regional Director has denied signing the permit of RDC Rail, even as the document bore the official signature. The CPC also had the director's name and designation wrong.
The Marina has already issued a directive for the owner of the ship owner of M Tanker Princess Empress, considering po na meron pa rin siyang mga pag-aaring ibang vessels, they have already been suspended po. So they are no longer operating.
And the Philippine Coast Guard has backtracked and clarified that the Mindoro oil leak has not yet reached the Verde Island Passage. In a statement, the PCG cited an aerial inspection of the marine protected area that showed no traces of oil. The inspection only covered offshore operations. This contradicts an earlier confirmation made by the PCG that oil sheen was spotted in the waters of Verde Island in Batangas.
Nakaresponde naman yung mga tao natin doon from Southern Tagalog. Ginagawa ng paraan din ng mga tao natin doon to really contain the effects of the oil spill going to Verde Island.
Meanwhile, the UP Marine Science Institute reiterates the importance of the Verde Island to the Philippines. The passage is the center of global shore fish biodiversity and provides food and livelihood to over 2 million people.
Ideally, hindi umabot ang malaking fraction ng oil or ng oil slick sa Verde Island Passage. Kasi ito nga ay tinagurian na sentro ng marine biodiversity. Okay, so ang yamang dagat na makikita sa Verde Island Passage ay walang katumbas sa ibang lugar sa atin dito sa Pilipinas. Protection of this is very important for both biodiversity and our food source.
In other news, the issue of charter change is causing a bit of confusion among lawmakers in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Manlas Baños tells us why.
Only 2 resource persons attended Monday's Senate hearing on the resolutions pushing for charter change. Those were former Senator Kit Tatad and PDP Laban Secretary General Melvin Matibag. Committee on Constitutional Amendments Chairman Senator Robin Padilla said they invited some members of the lower house to attend today's hearing, including House Committee on Constitutional Amendments Chairman Rufus Rodriguez. But in a statement, Rodriguez expressed his disappointment after the Senate canceled his invitation. The Solon said he was invited last March 14 and he was already prepared to go to the Senate and present CONCON, which he claims is data-driven and evidence-based. Senator Padilla, for his part, said it was not his choice to cancel the invitation, but it was Senate President Big Subiri who told him that it would be better to discuss the matter with their counterparts in the House in an executive session.
Malungkot po. Hindi naman po masama ang loob kasi ako po ay soldier eh. Kailangan pag sinabi ng commander ko na si Senator President Mig Subiri, susunod po ako.
Zubiri explained that he is not in any way stopping the Chacha hearings. But if the discussion will be between senators and congressmen, it would be better to do it in a caucus, where the leaders and the chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments of both houses are present.
We heed the call of Congressman Elpidio Barzaga for a ceasefire in the heated discussions on charter change, calling instead for the leadership of both houses of Congress to hold a caucus.
Zubiri further explained that traditionally the Senate does not invite incumbent members of Congress as resource persons, as they are accorded interparliamentary courtesy. The Senate President also reiterated his stand on Chacha, in which it is not a priority. On Tuesday, the PDP Laban will conduct a meeting to decide the party stand on charter change. The 32 congressmen and 4 senators who are members of the PDP Laban are expected to attend the meeting.
I'm speaking personally as a Secretary General of PDP kasi wala pa pong official na stand sa process ang PDP Laban.
Senator Padilla, however, warned that once his party refuses to support Chacha, he will not only be hurt but he will bolt from the party as well.
Kung sasabihin sa akin ng partido, bukas, na wag nating suportahan ng charter, araw na yon, resign din ako at independent na ako.
Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
Time to take a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Philippines and the United States will soon announce the locations of 4 additional sites under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA. This was confirmed by Philippine Ambassador to the United States, Jose Manuel Romualdez, and U.S. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall III. They noted, though, that the official announcement will be coming from President Bongbong Marcos.
The two countries will announce as soon as they can. It's just a question of, I think, coming to mutual agreement about the final announcement.
Meanwhile, Defense Officer in Charge Carlito Galvez Jr. said that Cagayan Governor Manuel Mamba will defer to the government's decision on additional EDCA sites. Mamba had earlier opposed an EDCA station in his province, citing security concerns.
We have already talked to Governor Mamba. He even visited my office in PICC, and he said that for as long as the national government has decided, he will abide with the decision of the president. And we have already decided. I told him that we have already decided, so he will conform with the decision.
So far, EDCA will give American forces access to 5 bases around the Philippines, including the Cesar Basa Air Base in Florida Blanca, Pampanga. Rehabilitation efforts of the base have already begun, with expenses shouldered by the United States.
As the president had said, that the alliance should be modernized, and the armed forces also should modernize itself so that it could defend itself. So it's not directed to anybody else, but to honor our obligations with the U.S.
And here are the other stories we're watching today. Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves will not be physically appearing at the House of Representatives today, according to his camp. Recall that the House Ethics Committee gave Teves a 24-hour ultimatum to show up at the Batasang Pambansa by 4 o'clock this afternoon or face sanctions. Until now, there's no information yet on Teves' whereabouts after his travel clearance expired on March 9. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla is now in Oriental Mindoro to assess how government can help residents get compensated after a massive oil spill. The DOJ earlier said that it is building up a case against the owner of the sunken MT Princess Empress. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's call for a protest was met with mostly muted reactions from supporters. Some of his most ardent followers even dismissed the idea as a waste of time and a law enforcement trap. Recall that Trump rallied his supporters to fight for him when he is arrested this week. Trump is expecting an indictment from a Manhattan court in New York over hush money allegedly paid to women whom he had sexual encounters with. One News Now will be back at 3 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.